as we can. All right, just to finish off assignment 4. So it's in the videos, so you can catch up and get this submitted. Even though Canvas is down right now, I want us to prepare all the files so we have them for when we can submit. And it's up to you to organize your files in your folders. So far, what do we have? I have my PNG of my black shape logo. Remember, the PNG has the background turned off, so it's a free-floating black shape raster version of my vector logo. Now, I also have my PSD, the working format. That's what I'm working on here. And I made duplicates to my smart object. And now I'm playing with those layer styles. And I'm playing with the gradient color. And in the gradients, you can select any color you want. Right? So I'm going to do a green because it's a campus color. And then I'm going to change the blue. So I have to say, okay, there's a lot of okaying here. It's like using any kind of template. So I'll do a lighter but less saturated blue, right? Okay, now what's also nice is I can play with another color. If I want to add one, I just click on the gradient. And what would be a nice transitional color? Maybe a yellowish or brownish, right? And I can play with where that is, right, in the scale of things. And I can even extend it. I can add another color. Maybe I make this one an orange, kind of an orangey brown. And then I can separate them. Give that more space. But I want more blue, so I'm going to move them over here more. And if I want to get rid of a color, I can actually just click it and drag it out, right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of move this more to the middle. There we go. I'm going to say, okay, now I've got the gradient colors, but I can change the angle of it. This is linear mode, right? And I can change the scale of it. So if I want to spread that out a little bit, I can. And I can also play with other modes. I can do radial, so it grows out from the middle. I can do diagonal or angled or diamond. You know, there's all kinds of things. Don't get too fancy. I just want you to know the options you have. Reflected means it goes from the inside out, right? So now green's at the center and blue's at both edges. But I'm just going to do the regular linear. And there we go. Okay, now I have that gradient. I still have the color overlay of just regular green. What if I change that color overlay color to something brighter? Okay, now that's completely covering up the gradient overlay because they're layered on top of each other. But if I take the color overlay and I take its opacity down, it will let the gradient come through. So this is how you can kind of control subtlety. And I can also play with the blending mode. So what I like to do is use dissolve. And what dissolve does is even if you don't have a texture, like I'll turn off my texture, you can see how it gives you what's called the diffusion pattern pixel texture. Just by layering your color overlay over the top of a gradient. It's one of my favorite techniques in graphic design. And I might change this color and maybe make it a little bit darker. Or even a blue. Yeah, I think that's going to look nice. So, all these different kind of features you can play with, and then you can adjust them as you like, all throughout. Okay. So, what's next? This is my color variation. I can also add a drop shadow if I want, right? So many things. I'll let you play with them, just like I was showing you with the Popeye. And I can play with the distance and the spread of that drop shadow, but I have to get past the offset. So now you can see that drop shadow behind it. Makes it look like it's kind of cut out from its background. And now I want to test it. Before you finalize your color, you want to see how it looks on black. Okay, that reads pretty well on black, on gray, and on white. And now I've got a color variation. Okay, now how do I save it in the different ways? Well, first, I'm going to save it, File, Save As a PSD with a new name. So it's no longer my black recycling vector. This is now the color recycling vector. And if you want to get technical about it, this is the PSD file that has everything, right? It has my black shape vector, and it has my color variations, and it has my offset, and it has the option for 3 different backgrounds. So from this one PSD, I can get every variation on my vector so far that I've created. So it's important. Now, how do I save it to put to Canvas to turn it in? I turn off the background, so it's free floating, and I save it as an online format. So I say save a copy. To support transparency, I make it a PNG, and I make sure that it has a different name than the black PNG. So that's why it's color. And then I go to my desktop, and I'm going to mark these. So I have green for my working PSD formats, orange for my online formats. Now what if I decide, you know, I made a print ready file of my black one, like that, without the offset, but I think this looks better. So I want to make a print ready file of this one. So what do? I flatten it. I say Layer, Flatten Image. It's already the right size. It's 7.5 by 9.5 at 350 pixels per inch. I make sure that that looks good. Does that look good within the mat though? To me it doesn't. It's too close to the edge. Why did it grow? Well, because I grew an offset and then I grew a drop shadow beyond the offset. So how can I fix that? Well, Command Z, because you don't want to change the size while it's rasterized. So then I just do Command T, and I'm just going to shrink this in, holding down Option. Make it a little bit smaller. Hit Return. Turn on that white background. Make sure it would look good within my format. And then I flatten it. Layer, Flatten Image. And then File, Save As, and I change it to my print ready by putting PR in front of it and not saving it as a Photoshop file, but saving it as a TIFF. And when I save as a TIFF, I should get this, and I should always mark LZW. Then I can close this, and I go back to my desktop, and I mark this yellow, and now I decide, well, what are the actual 3 I want to put into my Dropbox for printing? So I'm going to go to the digital art class files, go to the flattened TIFF files to print, find my folder. My folder's down at the bottom here. I have a lot of stuff in there, but you don't. Yours is nice and clean, right? And I'm going to put my print ready files there. And I'm going to do this one, and this one. So just put 3 in for the midterm. And I drop those in, and then those will come in, and then I'll be able to print those into the class Dropbox. All right. Now, how do we organize our files and be done with it all? I want you to make a folder that you call Print Ready. This will be helpful all semester. I want you to mark it red. And then put your print ready files from the midterm into there, even if you did more than 3 of them. We're just only going to put 3 into the Dropbox right now, so I know exactly what to print for you for next class. Then how do we organize our other files? Same as we always have. For assignment 4, all of these go into it. The working formats and the online formats. And then the print ready file also goes into it. And though I haven't posted my color variation to Canvas yet, I know that I've met the deadline for Canvas because I put in my refined sketch already. But because we don't have access to Canvas today and we don't know when we're going to get it back, I obviously can't check if you've put it in, right? And so let's wait until after the midterm next class and see if Canvas is working, and we'll work on it from there. But what I do want you to have is the files. You do not need access to Canvas in order to get your files ready. As long as you have the files, then you can back them up, you can upload them. Very good. All right. With that, I'm going to finish the videos for assignment 4, And we are going to start our presentations.